Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a look back at something that probably still stings a bit for many of us fans. India's defeat at the Headingley Test. Remember that one, Yara? It was, well, quite something. Our mission today, let's try and unpack the reasons, the avoidable reasons, really, for that loss using the analysis we have. So what does it all mean? Let's get into it. Now, starting with Headingley, my first thought was, okay, India actually seemed to have the advantage early on. We were feeling pretty good now.
See, yeah, that's the interesting bit. It was actually a fantastic toss to lose for India. Batting first there, that was the ideal scenario. England basically, handed us that advantage. Perfect setup.
And we did start so well with the bat. I mean, India looked completely in charge. What was it, 430 for three first innings, then again 287 for three in the second. But then things just seemed to change, didn't they? What does the analysis show? Was it just getting a bit too casual or tactically off? It felt like we left so many runs, maybe 150 runs, just out there.
You're absolutely spot on there. The casualness, it was pretty obvious. It really was. What happened, basically, was after those big partnerships, the intent just dropped off. Settling for singles, not really turning the screw, and yeah, easily 150 runs. Gifted away, really, by not pushing on. That came back to bite us, didn't it? It just gave England a bit of a lift, knowing we hadn't fully capitalized.
But it wasn't just the batting where things slipped, was it? Once England came out to bat, it felt like a different sort of, casualness crept in the field this time. Those dropped catches were glaring. That felt like another wound we inflicted on ourselves. How big was the impact of those drops?
It was immense. Huge. We dropped 6 catches. 6. And the really frustrating thing, they were regulation ones. Simple chances. These weren't just, missed wickets. You could see it deflating our bowlers and giving England's batsmen life. It ended up costing us probably around 200 runs. At test level, that's, it's just not acceptable. You can't afford to be that generous.
Wow. 6 catches, 200 runs. That's hard to hear as a fan. Just fundamental errors. Okay, let's switch to the bowling then. After the match, a lot of people were saying, oh, the pitch was just too flat. Was that really the main problem looking back, or were there other things going on with the bowling attack?
Look, initially, you really can't blame the bowlers too much. The pitch was flat, a batting paradise, honestly. Not much in it for the quicks. Getting early wickets was always going to be tough work there. But then you look at day 5. We started okay, but Shardul Thakkur's first spell, it was just wayward, leaking runs right from the start. And that completely released any pressure we built up. It let England's batters just settle in.
Right.
They took control after that.
Right. So the pitch was flat. Okay, but it sounds like maybe the bigger issue was a lack of genuine wicket-taking threats. Is it fair to say Bumrah can't win games all by himself?
That's exactly it. Bumrah's world-class, brilliant, but he can't do it alone in Test cricket, especially not on pitches like that. You saw Siraj, for example. He was creating chances, definitely getting some false shots, inducing edges, but he just wasn't getting the luck. The wickets weren't falling when maybe they should have. And we just didn't seem to have enough variety, enough consistent threat beyond those two, really.
And what about Jadeja's role in that? He's been fantastic with the bat overseas. We all know that. But with the ball, in that specific test, did he offer enough wicket-taking bite when we really needed it?
Yeah, with the bat, he's a match winner, no question. But with the ball, on a surface like that, he wasn't really giving the captain that wicket-taking option, was he? Especially in those middle overs when things drift. India really needs to, I think, find a way to get Kuldeep Yadav in the side. A thinner, someone who can turn it, bounce it, deceive batsmen. Even when the pitch is dead flat, he offers that X factor we sometimes lack.
That makes sense. And one last point, the selection of Shardul Thakur. He's picked as a bowling all-rounder, right? But then he only bowled 6 overs in the first innings. That seemed a bit odd.
Yeah, that definitely raises questions, doesn't it? If the captain or the management doesn't trust him for longer spells, then is he the right fit for that specific role? Maybe you need someone who can genuinely offer more threat with the ball, bowl you 10, 15 effective overs reliably. If the bowling isn't quite there, the batting needs to be extraordinary to compensate, and maybe the balance wasn't right. So yeah, when you put it all together, Headingley wasn't just England playing well. It was more a case of missed opportunities for us. That flat pitch, yes, but combined with the drop catches, the batting starts we didn't build on, and maybe that lack of bowling depth, it all added up. England basically just made us pay for every mistake.
It's really something, isn't it? How every single detail, every catch, every decision, it all feeds into the final result in these big games. It really makes you think. What stands out most to you from this deep dive? Something to ponder. We'll catch you next time.